Akudo was a bullied orphan who enrolled in a magic academy to become a high priest and change the world. However, everything transforms when he is announced as the new Demon King, causing powerful villains to fight for the opportunity to subdue him. The day he arrived in the city, he saw an old woman having trouble with her luggage and offered assistance, but the woman refused because he looked suspicious. Just then, a blue-haired girl named Junko kicked his face because she thought he was robbing the old woman, and as he fell, he caught a better glimpse of her figure. She ran to the old woman, who was her grandmother, asking if she was injured. The woman complained about her recklessness and revealed that Akudo was actually attempting to assist her. Embarrassed, Junko knelt and apologized, but Akudo assured her that he was not upset. Looking closer, she noticed he wore the Magic Academy uniform, and Akudo mentioned he had just transferred, so they boarded the magic train together since she was also a student. During the journey, they conversed, and he revealed that his dream was to be a high priest. This surprised Junko, who had already profiled him as a delinquent with strange tastes toward old women. She was somewhat impressed by his ambition and revealed that she came from a long line of ninjas tasked with protecting the empire for generations. They agreed to be friends and vowed to protect the nation, so Junko added that whoever broke that vow would be eliminated by the other. After arriving at the academy, Akudo followed the instructions and went to the nurse's office to register. Mitsuko, the school doctor, greeted him along with other students, explaining that their exams and future occupations would be evaluated by an artificial bird named Yatagarasu. Akuto expected to confirm he would be a priest, but the bird announced his occupation as Demon King. Immediately, the room plunged into chaos while he remained in a state of shock. Later, while Mitsuko guided him to class, everyone avoided him, including Junko. This made him want to use dialogue to convince them of his kindness, but it only made things worse, as his speech sounded like a declaration of war. Mitsuko interrupted him and ordered him to sit in the back, officially making him the outcast. After calling attendance, the teacher asked for a volunteer for class representative, and Junko applied. However, another student named Hiroshi stood up and nominated Akuto, saying it would be the best way to prove he was not evil. Akuto rejected the nomination immediately and said he preferred to join the cleaning committee. Unfortunately, this terrified the students even more because said committee was a disbanded group that destroyed everything in its path to impose its point. Akuto tried to explain his ignorance, but Junko took her wooden sword and advanced toward him with anger. She accused him of utilizing her, something meaningless to him, but his classmates assumed she meant he had abandoned her after being together like a vile man. Humiliated, Junko challenged Akuto to a duel right there, and Hiroshi declared that the winner would be the representative. Junko attacked him, but he dodged the blow, angering her more until she increased her power. Seeing this, Akuto maneuvered to pull her close to him so he could explain his case. He swore it was a misunderstanding and she believed him, but when a classmate commented that he had seduced her, she became enraged again. After breaking free, she tried to slash him with her sword, but Akuto stopped her. At that moment, his Demon King powers activated and mana began to pour from his body. Mitsuko erected a barrier to contain the explosion, but she and the students were caught, and when the smoke cleared, Junko lay with her clothes destroyed. Afterward, in the dorm, Hiroshi claimed to be impressed by Akuto's seduction technique and wanted to be his loyal follower, so Akuto asked for help to see Junko and apologize. Meanwhile, Junko reprimanded herself for almost letting herself be charmed by him. Just as she vowed not to fall for his words, Akuto knocked on her window 3 times as Hiroshi indicated. Unknowingly, that was the secret code of lovers, so when Junko opened it and saw him, her fury returned. Her screams attracted other students, who began to gossip about a couple's quarrel. Their words increased the anger of her, who pushed him and began to pursue him. Eventually, he ran into the forest and collided with a girl named Kina, who asked if he was her prince. Before responding, the furious Junko appeared, swearing she would send him to his maker. Kina told Akuto not to worry, as she would protect him, but Junko used a cloning technique to evade her and charge at him. Kina threw herself onto Akuto to be his shield, but this caused the young man to lose control and fire a mana cannon that caused an explosion. What remained was a large crater, and for some reason, Kina believed she caused the blast. While she spoke about unlocking a safe mode, another young woman appeared. She said her name was Corona and that she was assigned as Akuto's observer, which surprised him. Observers were advanced humanoids under government control, so having one assigned was strange. Corona used a healing weapon on Junko, and upon waking, she fled in shame. Akuto tried to follow her, but Corona blocked his path to interrogate him and Kina. Akuto explained that Kina had no relation to the incident, but when turning around, he only found her clothes. The girl had escaped by becoming invisible, and Akuto only saw her hairpin, remaining very confused. Later, Corona advocated for Akuto before the principal and Mitsuko, and the old man appeared calm. He told Akuto that he asked the government to send someone to watch him. Akuto did not like being watched always, but Mitsuko told him it was for his own good. She asked how he released so much mana the previous day. Akuto explained that he concentrated his strength in his arm, but things escalated, and it became a mana bomb. The same occurred when defending himself in the forest. Intrigued, Mitsuko said he could manipulate the surrounding mana, but it was hard for him to control it due to lack of training. She handed him his student manual, which which functioned also as a magic telephone. Afterward, Akuto collapsed on his bed exhausted, but the presence of Korone watching him prevented him from relaxing. Korone told him he could order her anything, so he ordered her to sleep. She accepted the order, but when she lay down beside him with only an unbuttoned shirt, the young man panicked. Seeing this, Korone mocked his excitement over a robot, but decided to sleep in the closet so as not to torment him further. The problem was that she kept watching him in a disturbing way. The next day, on the way to class, Hiroshi would not stop talking about how Akuto was the topic of the moment. When Akuto asked him to shut up, an upperclassman girl named Fujiko approached. Surprisingly, she was not hostile and sympathized with Akuto for being pursued by a psychopath with a sword. She also offered her help and, upon leaving, Hiroshi said Akuto had won the lottery. Apparently, Fujiko was the most popular, and it was rare to see her talk to boys so casually. In class, his classmates looked at him poorly and gossiped about him. They blamed Akuto for Junko's absence, and it did not help that he was with Korone. After class, he went to the restroom to call Fujiko and ask for her help to reconcile with Junko. Fujiko accepted and asked him to go alone to the rear mountains during lunch. Akuto mentioned his personal surveillance system, but he knew he could deactivate Korone by pulling her tail. During the break, he asked Hiroshi for directions, and the dirty-minded boy assumed Akuto was going to violate Korone's system. Shortly after, they reached the mountain, and Akuto let Korone go ahead to look for her tail. He bent down so low that he almost imitated a famous pose, but before seeing under her skirt, an invisible Kina struck him. The noise made Korone turn around, but since he was on the ground, he clearly saw her tail. Korone assumed he was a depraved person, but he explained that someone struck him. The robot said it was impossible, since the detected mana was not human, nor did it come from behind. Suddenly, a demon dog appeared and attacked them, so Korone fired. Surprisingly, her bullet was destroyed by the monster's teeth, so Akuto grabbed Korone and jumped. Then he clung to the monster and refused to let go despite its attempts to throw him off. Korone reloaded and asked him to let go, but he refused. Right away, he struck the dog with a mana sphere at close range, and to Korone's surprise, the dog transformed into a puppy. Akuto explained that he purged all the mana from the animal. Korone praised him for his speed and promised to include it in her report. While they spoke, they heard a scream and found Kina being bothered by the puppy. Upon seeing them, she turned invisible and fled screaming, leaving Akuto confused. Korone could not locate her mana, but found her bag, and when she bent down, Akuto pulled her tail to deactivate her. Then Fujiko arrived and said not to worry, since Korone would not remember anything. She spoke about Junko and promised a reconciliation meeting, for which Akuto expressed thanks. He said everything he did turned out wrong, and Fujiko mentioned his desire to join the cleaning committee. Akuto responded that he said it due to being misinformed, so she suggested he join the disciplinary committee. She handed him 2 magic pills and an injector, explaining they would help him and Junko understand each other. Akuto did not like the idea, but Fujiko asked him to keep them as a backup plan if Junko did not listen. After she left, Akuto reactivated Korone, and as predicted, the robot did not remember anything. Upon checking Kina's things, they heard another scream, and Akuto located her by her hairpin. The object triggered a memory, and while pursuing her, he wondered if they knew each other before. When he finally reached her, both fell and she became visible, but being without clothes, Korone accused him of assault. Akuto defended himself and asked Kina to confirm his story, which she did after dressing. That night, Fujiko called Junko and told her that Akuto wanted to see her alone. However, she claimed that he threatened to harm her if Junko refused, so she accepted immediately. After hanging up, Fujiko went to her secret room and told her brother that her plans were going well. Her brother, who was only a head in a jar, asked why she became so evil, but she silenced him. It turned out that he died on a mission, and due to their closeness, she used necromancy to make him a talking head. Fujiko told her brother that she would do everything possible to make Akuto swear loyalty to her. Akuto bathed with Hiroshi, and the latter revealed to him that the academy had 2 factions. The good one followed the rules faithfully, while the bad one used black magic, and Junko was in charge of tearing them down. Due to that act of righteousness, the students called her the Visible Dawn. Hiroshi left the bathroom, but in the locker rooms, he screamed, asking them not to look at his lower attributes. Akuto went to check and found Korone, realizing that she was the cause of the scream. She asked why men worry about the size of their anatomy, and he said it was because women prefer large ones. Intrigued, she asked to see his, but he said it was confidential, so she left. Akuto drank some milk, and Fujiko called him to tell him where to see Junko. The next day, Akuto was summoned by the student council because Fujiko informed them about his desire to join the disciplinary committee. Lily Shiraishi, the president, told him he could start immediately because she trusted his capacity. However, she warned him to be careful, as the previous members resigned after attacks by delinquents seeking fame. Shortly after leaving, the council announced Akuto's appointment. The news caused fear, and the students speculated that Akuto joined to take over the school. Later, Akuto loaded the pills into the weapon and prepared to deactivate Korone. Before achieving it, Kina knocked on his window asking to enter. Once inside, she sat on the bed to eat rice crackers, and Akuto asked the reason for her visit. Kina said she just wanted to hang out and asked Korone why she was on the bed. bed. Kurone explained that Akuto did not feel comfortable with her standing like a mannequin, but Kina said it was his excuse to touch her. Noting that the girl would ruin his plans, he changed the subject, asking what was in her sack. Kina revealed excitedly a rice cooker. Apparently, she liked eating rice very much, but they did not allow her to have the rice cooker in her dorm, so she wanted to leave it with him. Akuto refused, and she threatened to say he was a depraved individual. He insisted on his refusal, so she gave him a cracker and tried to persuade him with tenderness. Upon failing, she tried to convince him through dialogue, but ended up talking only about rice. She wished to have a rice party with everyone, and Kurone said she could achieve it. She pulled out a huge weapon, saying it would serve as a rice cannon. Kina got excited, but Akuto forbade its use. After some awkward moments, Akuto tried to get Kina to leave, and she asked if it was to play with Kurone. Akuto denied it, but Kina did not believe him and went out the window, leaving her rice cooker. Desperate to leave, Akuto reached under Kurone's skirt and pulled her tail. Then he arrived at the meeting place and was received by a delinquent who struck him. The subject was not alone, but when his friends attacked, Akuto defended himself, so they brought out a beaten Hiroshi. Enraged, Akuto stopped being nice and, after dealing with the subordinates, went for the leader. Fortunately, Junko arrived at that moment and asked him to stop, but he refused. Noting the implications of his act, he released the guy and pleaded with Junko to listen to him. Junko refused, so he tried to use the drugs but discovered they were missing. While he searched where they were, Junko threw a smoke bomb and declared a duel for the next day. When the smoke cleared, she was gone, so he took Hiroshi to his room where Kurone treated him. The next day, Mitsuko informed that the school approved the duel. Akuto pointed out it was a crazy decision, but Mitsuko insisted it was fine and promised to treat him better when she revived him. Determined not to be an experiment, Akuto presented himself and was received by Junko and students who wanted to beat him. Hiroshi asked to tell the truth, but Akuto refused, claiming to know what he was doing. When they fired at him, he pushed Hiroshi aside and ran. He did not get far before being cornered, and Junko advanced to finish him. Akuto dodged 2 attacks, but she pressed him and would have cut him if Kina had not arrived. She tried to reason with Junko, but ended up convincing everyone that they had a lover's quarrel. This upset the students, who turned against Junko, and she had no choice but to ally with Akuto. When both sides were about to clash, Kurone appeared with the cannon. Akuto warned her not to use it, but she fired. Immediately, Akuto placed a barrier to deflect the impact and was surprised when the rice fell like snow. Kina revealed that she went ahead with her idea of the rice bomb, and Akuto felt proud of her. Later, Kurone analyzed the rice because Kina admitted mixing Fujiko's pills. Upon finishing, Kurone said the pills were made with black magic. They were designed to make the consumer swear loyalty to the creator of the drug. Luckily, the effect was weak due to dilution and would pass soon. Meanwhile, in Fujiko's room, the girls who ate rice were all over her, and she could only pray for the effect to pass. Days later, in physical education class, Akuto almost eliminated Junko with a manosphere. Because of this, the class was cancelled, and Mitsuko suggested that Akuto meditate in the mental discipline chamber to control his powers. That day, Fujiko checked her black magic book, very upset. When her brother asked about her bad mood, she said she was looking for another way to make Akuto swear loyalty to her. This caused her brother to ask again why she became cruel, and she ordered him to be silent, although in her mind she blamed him. She remembered her mother telling how he died on a mission, but upon being revived and interrogated, he remembered nothing. For that reason, the government concluded that he fled like a coward and died terribly. Her mother said his death brought shame and that she must redeem the family. In the present, Fujiko remained upset but did not state the motive. Meanwhile, Akuto went to the chamber with Kurone, unaware that Kina followed them. Upon arriving, he ordered Kurone to watch in case there was an emergency. However, the robot entered with him, and he could not get her out because the doors would not open for 12 hours. Kurone snuggled with him, making him feel uncomfortable, so he asked her to move. Kurone said she was trying to help him concentrate, but Akuto noticed her exposed thighs and almost lost composure. He tried to move away, but accidentally collided with Kina, who remained invisible and touched her chest. Kina screamed, embarrassed, undoing her technique. Akuto gave her his shirt and turned around. Then, Fujiko arrived outside and prepared to fire a magic bullet at Akuto. The bullets were enchanted to make him lose sanity temporarily, and when it happened, she would open the door and pretend to be his savior. Inside, Akuto discovered a treasure map hidden in the wall, and Kina said excitedly that some pirates hid it there. While she spoke about a great treasure, Akuto began to meditate, but after a few seconds, she said she needed to go to the restroom. He offered the waterproof bag he brought, but she refused out of shame. She began to bang on the door, so Fujiko opened, thinking Akuto was losing his mind. She was surprised when Kina came running out and knocked her down. Akuto tried to explain, but Fujiko ignored him upon noticing the map. After checking it, she took it, saying she would keep it. Arriving at her room, she interrogated her brother since the handwriting was his, but he swore not to remember. The next day, Fujiko looked out the window trying to understand her brother's relationship with the map. Since nothing came to her mind, she pretended to be fine when a girl named Aiko approached. Fujiko offered a fake smile, but when Aiko said it was a pity she could not enslave Akuto, the smile vanished. She noticed the girl was not a student, but Aiko assured she had permission to be there. She left, but Fujiko Fujiko's attention was attracted by a nearby crowd. Upon making her way through, she was shocked to see a copy of the map projected on the auditorium screen. She went to her room to check and, not finding it, became enraged. Meanwhile, Akuto and Kuroni were in the cafeteria when they noticed copies of the map everywhere. While Akuto wondered who placed them, a furious Fujiko arrived and accused him of sharing the map. Confused, Akuto took her outside to talk, but she kept accusing him until Kuroni pointed out Kina, who kept placing the map. When Fujiko demanded to know why she did it, the clueless girl said she wanted everyone to participate in the search. The next day, in class, they brought in some injured students after attempting to find the treasure. As a result, Lily summoned Akuto and ordered him to tell the students they were forbidden from searching for the treasure. Akuto did not see why he had to do it, but Lily said that if the order came from him, the students would obey out of fear. Without an option, Akuto called a meeting and complied with the order, but the students turned against him. They accused him of being Kina's accomplice, and Hiroshi made things worse by saying the search was a test from Akuto and that the winners would be his subordinates. Akuto tried to defend himself, but they threw objects at him. Suddenly, Kina charged at Akuto and ended up with her face in his personal space. When she positioned herself on his neck, she suggested to the crowd that Akuto do the mission to prove his innocence. Akuto tried to refuse, but she held him by the neck until he accepted. Afterward, Akuto returned to Lily and she told him to just pretend to search for the treasure. Akuto pointed out that the monster that injured the students could be there, but Lily forbade him from fighting. On the way to the dorm, Akuto told Kuroni that Lily was hiding something. Kuroni noticed the same, but before speculating, Fujiko called him. He went to see her, and she gave him another magic weapon saying it would be useful. At night, Hiroshi joined Akuto and Kuroni with supplies, but before leaving, Aiko jumped from a tree onto Akuto. She insisted on going, and no matter how much he complained, she did not yield, so he accepted. Upon arriving at the ruins, they checked the map and noticed the name Boichiro Yamato written at the first point. Akuto wondered if it was a clue or a trap. They entered and arrived at a cave with graves of those who died in the war against the previous demon king. While searching for Boichiro Yamato's grave, a monster appeared. Meanwhile, Junko looked for Akuto in the dorm and, not finding him, went to wake up Kina to ask. Kina said he went out on a mission with Hiroshi, Kurone, and Aiko. Upon mentioning Aiko, Junko ran out in panic, leaving Kina confused. In the ruins, Aiko tried to fight the monster, but was struck and her clothes were torn. Akuto went to see her, and she weakly asked him to avenge her before faking a faint. So Akuto fired with his magic weapon, and the monster fled, leaving only bats. Right away, Aiko jumped onto him, and they fell in front of the searched grave. A quick search produced a small recording device. Curious, Akuto pressed play, and they received a message toward the next object. Unknowingly, Aiko, who spied on them with an enchanted camera, recognized the device as the one she and her brother used to communicate when he lived. Overwhelmed by emotions, Aiko began to cry, but stopped when Kina entered, suggesting to join the treasure search. At that moment, Akuto and the others arrived at the second place and were attacked by enchanted armor. Akuto fired, but it was not effective, so Hiroshi tried his luck and was kicked. Just when he was about to be cut, Akuto stopped the blade with his hand. He knocked down the armor using his own weapon, but instead of counterattacking, the armor stood up and left. Hiroshi praised Akuto for scaring the enemy, but Akuto scolded him for his reckless decision to fight. Hiroshi explained that he only wanted to prove he was not weak, but Akuto kept reprimanding him. Discouraged, Hiroshi asked Akuto to put himself in his place, so Akuto apologized for his harshness. Then, Aiko found the second treasure, a telephone with a video of the entrance to the cave where the next object was located. Akuto wondered how they would find the cave, but Kuroni helped using dowsing rods from her bag. Upon arriving, they discovered the water was basically a hot spring. Since they were not going to bathe, Akuto stayed in his undergarments and swam to the other side, but the astute Aiko jumped onto him out of nowhere, attempting a romance in the hot springs. Their voices attracted Junko, who was resting nearby after falling through a hole. Without noticing the visitor, Akuto asked Aiko what the treasure was, and she said it was the legacy of the previous demon king. At that instant, Junko tried to attack Aiko without thinking and ended up exposing her body before Akuto, who almost died from the shock. His reaction made her come to her senses, so she covered herself and fell into the water, but she emerged immediately and ordered Akuto to stay away from Aiko because she was an Imperial agent. Shocked, Akuto asked why she pretended to be a student, and Aiko said someone ordered her to discover if he could resist his destiny. Her words confused Akuto, but there was no explanation as she and Junko began to fight. While watching them, a wolf attacked them. He gave it a special blow. Even so, it stood up and attacked again, but fainted from a mysterious purple gas. Aiko complained that Akuto chose to save Junko over her, and there he noticed he held the ninja. Embarrassed, Junko let go and crouched to one side, while Aiko went to the altar and took the last treasure, but she threw it to Akuto and fled, saying she wished to die. Afterward, while Junko dressed, Akuto asked about her history with Aiko, and she said they were sworn enemies. Then Kina arrived carrying Fujiko, who revealed she put the wolf to sleep with a potion. The four returned to the other side and found that Aiko left Hiroshi unconscious and deactivated Corona. Upon leaving, Fujiko examined the key and was teleported by a magic circle. Akuto and the others followed her through through the portal and found another underground city. The most surprising thing was seeing Lily there, claiming they won the game. The monsters encountered before were the other members of the council. When she said the prize was a kiss, Junko asked her to stop playing and tell the truth. Lily was annoyed at being found out, but before acting, Fujiko ran toward the rear building. The other members tried to stop her, but she used a light bomb and escaped. When Akuto tried to follow her, Lily said it was dangerous. Then, Fujiko unlocked the clues and the building collapsed, revealing a dragon that attacked her. Akuto tried to go, but Lily blocked his path, asking him to rethink it. A flash occurred and everyone saw memories of Fujiko's brother. He was ordered to find and destroy the legacy of the Demon King, but discovered the secret and disobeyed. After hiding the clues, he erased his memories and confronted the man who sent him, but died suffocated. In the present, Fujiko cried and fainted, so Akuto tried to go, but Lily kept blocking him. As they were going to clash, he ordered Kurone to take Hiroshi away. Junko tried to attack Lily, but the president struck her with a spell, accusing her of trying to create the next Demon King. Junko assured that if Akuto became the Demon King, he would die by her hands. Akuto stood up and pushed her aside with a mana punch. Upon reaching Fujiko, the dragon attacked, but Akuto blocked and returned a blow that knocked it down. The dragon said its former master called it Peterhausen, but as the new master, Akuto could change it if he wished. Akuto tried to reject the position, but Fujiko embraced him, saying she would serve him always. With no mood for her craziness, he tried to flee, but Lily stopped him and kissed him. Days later, Corona met with high government officials who ordered her to romance Akuto to control him. They warned that if she failed, she would be responsible for everything. That week, the students visited an island for their annual summer school. On the beach, Kurone began to rub against Akuto, asking him to apply sunscreen. He moved away, saying her suit did not allow applying the lotion well. In response, she began to undress, saying it did not matter. Panic aside, he threw a towel at her face, wondering what was wrong with her lately. He remembered that the day the trip was announced, Mitsuko said he would not go. Resigned, he returned to his room to relax, but Kurone arrived by his side, attempting to entice him. Akuto brushed her hand aside and asked if she activated an allure mode. Kurone ignored the question and said she obtained permission for him to go to the beach. Curious, he asked why she did it, and she said going to the place would bring out his inner desires. Akuto's face reddened and he asked her to stop saying that, but Kurone did not listen and said she was trying to confirm his preferences. Akuto argued it was obvious, but the robot asked to prove it by letting her sleep with him. He responded that he preferred women with warm bodies over metallic ones, so she went to the closet. However, the next morning she woke him up acting like a jealous sister. She almost damaged his sensitive zone, but Akuto survived and asked if they rewrote her program. Kurone responded that she sought to know his type, so he asked her to leave. Instead of that, she put on an apron and was deactivated again. Even so, she did not give up and went as a maid to class, attracting unnecessary attention. Then she tried to entice him with tight gym clothes, then a bunny suit, and finally a nurse outfit. Wishing to escape, Akuto fled to Peterhausen's cave to hide and was surprised to see Kina sleeping on the beast. Unfortunately, Kurone followed him and struck him because now she acted like a jealous classmate in love with him. In the present, Akuto emerged from his daydream because Junko was scolding him. It turned out that while he thought, Kurone used his hand to apply sunscreen on her exposed body. Before withdrawing it, Kurone took his hand and placed it on Junko's chest. This upset the ninja, who drew her sword and tried to finish Akuto. When the tension dropped, Akuto made Kurone apologize, but the mischievous robot asked Junko if she enjoyed the touch of Akuto's hands. She said she would not mind sharing him with her, making their classmates murmur. Akuto tried to clarify but only made everything worse. Because of this, Junko went to a quiet part of the beach. When he found her, he apologized and invited her to swim. Upon her accepting, Kina floated toward them and Junko asked her to join. After playing for a while, Kina found a sea cucumber and began to play with it. Junko tried to stop her, but the girl ignored her and ended up splashing slimy substance over Junko. Disgusted, Junko ran into the arms of Akuto, who helped her remove the sticky substance. He was so gentle that she could not stop looking at him until Kurone approached and pulled down her swimsuit. Junko tried to cover her uncovered chest while Akuto scolded Kurone for her conduct. He was so harsh that Kurone became saddened and left. Later, on the way to the dorm, Akuto felt they were watching him but could not locate anyone. Then Kina saw Hiroshi walking in the opposite direction and alerted Akuto. Akuto went to see him and learned that the island was Hiroshi's home and that he was going to see his family. Hiroshi said they did not let Akuto go because of the island's legend. It said that upon the Demon King's return, a beast would emerge from the lake, but the hero would appear to defeat them. Akuto said it was just a legend, and Hiroshi nodded, saying people only expected the hero to be from there. His way of saying it made Akuto ask if something was wrong, and Hiroshi said he would not understand. He ran off, but before Akuto followed him, he heard a sharp sound that stopped him. Later, while others celebrated in the dorm, Akuto went out to search for whoever was watching him. Kurone awaited him, so she pulled out a mana detector and offered to accompany him. Meanwhile, at the academy, Fujiko spoke with Peterhausen about her dream of being Akuto's queen when Lily arrived and warned about the government's plan for Kurone to romance Akuto. After Lily left, Fujiko tried to call Akuto Akuto to warn him but could not communicate. It was because someone blocked the mana signals where Akuto was, and even Koroni's device failed. Suddenly she heard something and left, so Akuto kept searching and found Kina. She said Fujiko contacted her to tell her something, but since her brain lacked memory, she erased the information. She claimed to be thirsty and drank the rice wine she brought. Upon finishing it, she got drunk and leaned on Akuto, but that did not prevent her from nibbling his ears before sleeping. Akuto looked at her and leaned in, which made her wake up and joke again. At the key moment, Koroni kicked Akuto, and he began to complain. The robot said it was his fault for being in the way, but they heard that sharp sound again. Akuto turned searching for the origin, but suddenly they fired at Korone. At that moment, Kina woke up and said she remembered Fujiko's final message. It was about Koroni's mission to romance him and the consequences if she failed. Hearing this helped Akuto understand what Koroni kept silent, and he stayed there. Meanwhile, at Hiroshi's house, he was in the yard with his sister because his parents celebrated that he would be the hero. When his sister asked about Akuto, Hiroshi tried to praise him but stopped upon hearing voices. They were two guests speaking poorly of Hiroshi. They said he was the skinniest hero in history and that he would not last even 2 minutes fighting. Their words hurt, so Hiroshi decided to leave before crying. The next morning, Hiroshi's sister saw Akuto to ask if he was the Demon King, and he said no. Then Hiroshi arrived and tried to take her away, but the stubborn Yukiko refused. She asked Akuto if her brother was unfit to be the hero, and Akuto was surprised since Hiroshi never told him. Hiroshi tried to explain, but Yukiko insisted, so Akuto told her that Hiroshi did not want to be the hero. The girl called Akuto a liar and fled, so Hiroshi followed her after giving a hurt look to Akuto. Kina also went after the siblings, leaving Akuto with Junko, who called him a dense idiot. She also told him to learn to think about others' feelings before speaking and destroying dreams. Akuto did not argue since he noticed his mistake, but the damage was done. Shortly after, Hiroshi and Kina met by the lake searching for Yukiko. Kina said it was a surprise that Hiroshi was the hero, and he admitted he kept silent because he did not feel capable. Then the sharp sound returned, making Kina get scared, but Hiroshi did not flinch. He said the sound was the wind whistling in the underwater cave. That cave had an altar where the hero's symbol awaited to be claimed. According to Hiroshi, the symbol was a sword, and not being the protagonist, he would not be able to pull it out. Suddenly, they heard a human sound, so Kina insisted on investigating. They found a suspicious guy named Mr. X in front of the cliff displaying his attributes to nature. In reality, the man caused the sound because he was summoning a monster. When the monster emerged, Yukiko screamed, attracting the subject's attention. He took the girl and began to mistreat her. Hiroshi ran and tried to use his magic, but the man was a mana disruptor, so Hiroshi's magic did not work. Then Hiroshi noticed an undressed Kina approaching Mr. X. Unfortunately, the guy's senses alerted him and he caught her too. At that instant, Yukiko bit him, making him let her go, but instead of fleeing, she bragged that her brother would give him a beating. In response, Mr. X released Kina and charged against Hiroshi, kicking him to the ground upon being close. Hiroshi stood up quickly, but the guy said he was not interested in the weak and kicked him into the lake. Later, Akuto and Junko found the lake monster being ridden toward the town by its new master. To them, Mr. X was a depraved person, but he claimed to be an artist sharing his gift. Then, he showed them Kina and Yukiko chained as captives and bragged about having eliminated Hiroshi. Upon hearing that part, Akuto lost control and attacked the guy, but it was not enough to knock him down. The good thing was that he freed the girls, so Akuto broke their chains and left them with Junko. Upon approaching Mr. X, the latter opened his coat, emitting a sharp sound that almost deafened Akuto. It also neutralized his powers, so Mr. X amused, himself kicking and striking Akuto everywhere. Meanwhile, Hiroshi sank, believing that dying was his best option. However, he noticed he took the cowardly path and decided to improve by embracing his inner hero. He managed to reach the cave and, with determination, pulled the sword from the stone. Not being just a time of myths, the sword became a technological artifact. It told Hiroshi that his command was brave, so Hiroshi repeated it and transformed into a powerful warrior. In the forest, Akuto overcame the noise and began to strike Mr. X, but the guy would not fall. He said everything was for a good cause and that he did not understand why Akuto did not see his vision. Akuto said it was because he was not evil, so Mr. X tried to accelerate his malice by eliminating the girls. Luckily, Koroni arrived and saved the young women, relieving Akuto. She revealed that Mr. X was a government agent, but having turned rogue, she had authorization to stop him. After leaving him unconscious, they tried to go for the town monster, but Hiroshi appeared and stole the show. After destroying the monster with a plasma bomb, he went for Mr. X, but Akuto stopped him, saying he would gain nothing. Hiroshi was going to argue, but decided to back off because he did not want to fight Akuto. Seconds later, he returned from the opposite side as himself and said the brave hero saved him. Then, Corona revealed that she bargained with the government using Mr. X's attack to blackmail them. She said he must marry someone from an established family and that Junko was her primary choice. Junko got scared upon hearing this and fled, leaving Akuto with the sleeping Kina and Korone, who tried to romance him again, saying it was a joke. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Aiko saw Boichiro, responsible for the death of Fujiko's brother, asking to punish Junko. Boichiro refused, saying he did not get involved in useless messes, so she left angry. Alone, Boichiro pulled out a pendant and, seeing the projected image, said it was almost time to settle scores with Akudo. Days later, Akudo dreamed of the past when he gave the hairpin to a red-haired girl before leaving the orphanage. Upon waking, he found Kina on top of him and asked if she needed anything. Kina said she wanted to hang out and, after sitting beside him, asked when his birthday was. Akudo said December 25th because that day they left him at the orphanage, making Kina say they were similar. She did not know her real birthday either and chose a random date. Hearing it, Akudo insisted that she was the girl to whom he gave the hairpin years ago. Kina said he was mistaken. Although she did not remember how she obtained the hairpin, she asked that they celebrate their birthday together, and Akudo accepted asking the date. Kina did not state it, but assured she would notify him upon the day arriving. Meanwhile, in the caves under the school, Fujiko attempted to tame monsters for Akudo. She believed Akudo would praise her and imagined his hands rewarding her. However, those hands turned out to be tentacles of a monster she attempted to tame. The monster amused itself, caressing her and undressing her, until Fujiko launched a magic bomb into the water to teach it a lesson. The monster begged for its life, and Fujiko said she would forgive it if it stopped being a depraved creature. But it looked under her skirt once more and lost some tentacles. Terrified, it fled into the water, and there, Fujiko saw a monster egg floating. Upon taking it, Peterhausen arrived asking why she was always in dark and dangerous places. Fujiko hid the egg and said she came for the monsters revived by Akudo's power. Unfortunately, things were difficult as the found one was the reincarnation of a slimy being. Then Akudo and Hiroshi saw news about the hero and how he eliminated monsters in the city. Hiroshi pretended to know nothing while Akudo pointed out that the hero's acts embarrassed the Order of Knights. While debating, they heard Kina asking for more rice from Kuroni. The robot said it was her 13th bowl, but Kina did not care because she ate excessively. Suddenly, the program showed an advertisement for rice seasoning, and Hiroshi got excited seeing the idol Yuri. Akuto looked at the fan until Kina spoke of rice again, so he interrupted her asking why she missed classes. Kina said she did not want to go and went out the window while Akuto tried to scold her. Hiroshi said to leave her because although she missed, always, she never failed an exam. Her only failure was being bad at magic, and because of that, many students despised her. This angered Akuto, who called the detractors idiots for judging her magic ability, but Kuroni said it was not their fault. According to her, people were programmed by God, whom she described as a large computer. Akuto argued they were foolish because otherwise they would question the system that made them believe God approved their acts. Corona asked why he wanted to be a priest if he did not believe in God, and he said it was the fastest way to change the world. That phrase stayed engraved in Hiroshi, and after leaving the room, he compared it to the agenda of the previous Demon King. Then, Fujiko tried to incubate the egg with magic, and upon failing, decided to rest. As soon as she fell asleep, Kina entered and stole the egg in silence. The next morning, she took it to Akuto's room, asking Kurone to cook it for breakfast. Hiroshi recognized it was a monster egg, and, upon Akuto touching it, it reacted to his magic, so he panicked and threw it out the window. That night, upon returning to the dorm, they found the egg grew, and when Akuto touched it, it hatched. A two-headed chicken came out and tried to attack Kina, but Akuto saved her, despite resulting injured. Corona tried to shoot the bird, but Fujiko arrived saying she brought the monster from the cave to serve Akuto. She tried to command it, but one head lifted her while the other pecked her clothes. Akuto struck it with a mana sphere to make it release her, and after doing so, the bird flew to the city. Hiroshi transformed and pursued it, but the beast arrived and began to destroy. The idol Yuri was in the area and became trapped under rubble. When Hiroshi arrived, he attacked the monster with his high-frequency sword, cutting off one head. The other was destroyed along with the body, and everyone praised Hiroshi. Suddenly, his sensors found Yuri, so he flew to help her and was surprised to save his favorite idol. Yuri thanked the rescue by kissing him, and the boy remained in shock. It was not until her people arrived that he recovered his senses and left. The next day, Akuto reported the incident to Lily and the council. Lily did not give it importance, saying nobody resulted injured. But after he left, she told the others that things would get ugly. Akuto walked to class and found Kina, who said she would attend too. He said he was glad and apologized for forcing her earlier, but Kina said she understood why he did it. Upon her leaving, she asked that he not forget his promise to spend her birthday together. Meanwhile, Junko thought about why Corona suggested she marry Akuto. Corone said it was necessary and revealed she already bargained with her father, which shocked Junko. During break, Junko went out to speak with her father to make him change his mind, but he refused. He ordered that she go home with Akuto soon to finalize everything. In a tight spot, she rehearsed how to say it to Akuto, and those present thought she was losing her mind. Suddenly, Corone appeared offering to speak with Akuto for her, giving her a big scare. After calming down, she said she would do it herself upon finding him. So, Corone pulled out an Akuto detector device. With it, they found him in the cafeteria, but he was with Hiroshi, so Junko panicked and invited both to her family home. That day, Boichiro went to the academy to speak with the principal, and Akuto passed beside them. Upon noticing him, Boichiro spoke about the increase in magic beast attacks. He also insinuated that Akuto was responsible, so the boy stopped and asked to stop spreading rumors. Boichiro asked if Akuto was ignorant that his powers awakened the beasts and monsters, and Akuto did not respond. However, Akuto kept thinking about that after boarding the train toward Junko's home the next day. When Hiroshi asked if he was okay, he distracted himself with Kina saying goodbye from the platform. On the trip, Akuto noticed a nervous Junko and asked if she was okay. This made her panic, and, upon her stammering, Koroni offered to explain. Junko covered her mouth, asking for silence. Confused, Akuto thought, and concluded that Junko acted this way due to what Boichiro said, so he said he would assume responsibility. Junko assumed he spoke of marriage, so she became very nervous. Hours later, they arrived and were received by an attack from Junko's sister, Yuko. After deflecting the star, Junko demanded that Yuko show herself. Hiroshi recognized her as the idol Yuri, and Yuko said she did it because being a ninja did not pay debts. Looking at her sister, she asked which one was her boyfriend. Junko reddened and threatened Yuko with her sword to make her quiet. While walking home, Yuko went with Hiroshi and asked who Akuto was. Hiroshi said he was a normal guy, but Yuko dissented, saying Akuto smelled of magic beast. As a child, she was bitten by one and some mana entered her body. Because of that, upon being near one, her body reacted with fear. Later at Junko's house, Akuto spoke with her father, who asked his feelings and intentions toward Junko. The clueless guy thought it was casual chat, so he said he liked Junko and would never dishonor her. Pleased, Junko's father declared a feast that night. In the celebration, the intoxicated people congratulated Junko, wishing her the best, but the meaning of the words escaped Akuto. That night, Junko went to Akuto's room and, to his surprise, tried to undress, so he stopped her, asking what was happening. Junko revealed they would marry on the weekend and apologized for not telling him the arrangements. For some reason, Akuto thought her family forced her and apologized, saying he would have refused had he known. His words made Junko react, who called herself foolish for getting her hopes up. She stood up to leave, asking him to forget everything that occurred in that room. As soon as she left, ninjas appeared all over the room, saying Akuto would pay for making Junko cry. Akuto ran for his life. They pursued him and almost caught him if they had not fallen into Aiko's trap. Confused, Akuto asked what she was doing there, and she said she came for him. She explained it would be better to marry into her family, but Akuto said he did not like scheming women. Furious, she pulled out her weapon but mentioned Kina, and alarms sounded in Akuto's head. At that moment, Kina was in the cafeteria counting down for her birthday, without noticing that an eye watched her. The owner was outside with others, and after confirming her location, they sent someone for her. At the residence, Aiko revealed to Akuto that her family was of assassins, and Kina was the next target. Furious, Akuto almost lost control, but Yuko interfered, and he lowered his power, allowing Aiko to escape. Upon trying to pursue her, Yuko screamed, calling him offensive names. She demanded that he stay away from her family, but Akuto said it did not depend on her. Then Koroni arrived with Hiroshi, and Akuto asked to call the academy to warn that Kina was in danger. Koroni refused, saying a god decided Kina's fate, and it was not her place to interfere. Akuto asked what she would do if he went, and she responded by pulling out a weapon, but she threw it and approached, saying they did not have to fight. Being close, she guided his hand to her tail, and Akuto noticed she was trying to help him. Upon deactivating her, Yuko screamed because the beast blood in her reacted to Akuto. Upon noticing it, Akuto opened a portal and left without saying a word. Meanwhile, the assassins captured Kina, and upon going to eliminate her, Boichiro arrived and saved her. He had just defeated the last assassin when Akuto arrived and asked what he was doing there. Boichiro explained that Kina was the law of identity and that a contract with her would allow governing the gods. Apparently, the gods wanted it, but they did not want Boichiro as ruler, so they decided to eliminate Kina before the contract. Noticing that Boichiro saved Kina for his own benefit, Akuto got angry and attacked, but Boichiro severed his arm. Indifferent, Akuto regenerated it, making Boichiro call him a monster. Kina did not seem to care and ran into Akuto's arms, while Fujiko arrived with her tamed monsters at Akuto's service. Soon, the school filled with monsters, and, facing Boichiro, the latter summoned a magic sword. In Aiko's clan, she observed the chaos and wondered what failed when her father returned. He was the last assassin that Boichiro defeated, but survived to tell the truth. Unfortunately, Aiko stabbed him and left him to die when he asked to denounce Boichiro. She took Boichiro's badge that her father brought and apologized for betraying him. Then, a subordinate of Boichiro named 2V appeared behind her, offering help. Soon, word reached Junko's clan that Akuto assassinated the leader of Aiko's clan. Junko did not want to believe it, but her father said the evidence was clear and asked to act. He held the sword Sohaya, passed down for generations, and Junko said it was never unsheathed. Then her grandmother arrived and said what mattered was what Junko thought, not what was heard. She took the sword and gave it to Junko, saying that if she did the right thing, she could unsheath it. Shortly after, a ninja army gathered before the academy, and inside were Aiko and 2V. Meanwhile, at the academy, Boichiro attacked Akuto with his sword, preventing him from healing quickly. Seeing it, Fujiko summoned a three-headed wolf to take Akuto away. She told Kina they must gain time for him to heal and get his weapon, Peterhausen. Unfortunately, Boichiro followed them, using his sword as a board. Upon arriving at the ruins, they found the principal, who did not stop them. After they passed, Boichiro arrived, and the old man asked to speak about when they defeated the Demon King together 100 years ago. In the ruins, they found Lily, who asked Akuto's plan. He explained he did not want trouble, but she pointed to the army outside, saying the trouble found him. However, she assured she would not interfere and let them pass. Outside, Junko and Yuko arrived with their father before the ninjas, and everything was broadcast to the city. Yuko posed for her fans, but her sister worried seeing the mark on her neck. They entered to speak with Aiko, and she planned how to obtain the sword Sohaya. For the plan to flow, she ordered the sisters to deal with the monsters. Yuko got excited, but Junko distrusted since she knew Aiko was treacherous. Upon leaving, the sisters were announced as having offered to go alone. Junko noticed Aiko wanted to avoid blame for her clan if something happened. Junko asked Yuko to be careful, but the girl was so animated she did not listen. Upon her charging, the hero blocked her path and she embraced him, happy to work together. The hero swore to protect her because he was upset with Akuto for not helping her and choosing war for Kina. In the ruins, the girls took Akuto to Peterhausen, and upon riding the dragon, he declared he would defeat God and return triumphant. While flying, Akuto increased his power and Junko, in a jumping position, tried to attack him, but his magic prevented it, and looking at him, she noticed he was very calm for someone who would bring hell. She felt he did not care about her and began to insult him. Akuto used magic to leave her in his arms and apologized for ignoring her feelings. He promised that upon finishing everything he would take care of her, and she reddened. Before she could ask, he lowered her with magic and flew. Suddenly, the hero charged against Akuto and cut Peterhausen. Instead of getting angry, the dragon got excited because he was the first to wound him. Akuto asked not to be overconfident, and the dragon said he only recognized a true warrior. Meanwhile, 2V informed Aiko that a device in the ruins controlled the monsters. He said if they destroyed it, the war would change in their favor. Aiko contacted the sisters, ordering them to find and destroy the device, but she did not plan for them to return, so she sent someone suggested by 2V after them. Upon the subject attacking, the sisters thought it was another beast and almost fell. Luckily, 2 ninjas arrived to help, and seeing the fight, Junko noticed the monster was human. In the air, the hero kept clashing with Akuto and Peterhausen while stating his complaints. He accused Akuto of using his power for selfish desires, but Akuto defended his acts, saying that without destroying God, people would not react. Peterhausen tried to bite the hero, but the latter changed to a special mode against the Demon King. He caused an explosion in the dragon's mouth, but it emerged unharmed due to its mana. The problem was that its mana lowered fast, and it had to recover it. Then the Imperial ship arrived and fired, but Peterhausen felt the ship had a mana generator inside. Upon telling Akuto, the Demon King suggested flying close and absorbing the mana, which it did. Below, the principal and Boichiro still did not fight. The principal told Boichiro that although they defeated the Demon King before, he did not trust him. Boichiro said it did not matter as long as humanity controlled God, but the principal said it would not be he who did it. Apparently, his motive was the previous law of identity, whom Kina resembled a lot. Above, Peterhausen recovered mana and fired at the ship. Seeing it, 2V with Aiko used magic to control the pilot and crashed the ship against Akuto and Peterhausen. Junko cried, thinking Akuto died, but noticing that what was on Yuko's neck remained active, she knew he lived. The hero also knew Akuto lived and entered the ruins to search for him, running into the principal and Boichiro. The latter was going to finish the old man, so the hero ran to help but was rejected. He said he did not want students injured, but the hero did not leave and stood before Boichiro. Then, his suit turned off and the watch stopped responding. Boichiro revealed he created the watch and left it on the island so Hiroshi could not use it against him. Upon trying to strike the principal again, Hiroshi said he would help him if he reactivated the watch. He learned Boichiro needed the wielder to defeat Akuto because he was not capable. The principal tried to stop him, but then let him go, figuring it would be better for Hiroshi to see things alone. Meanwhile, in the ruins, Kina told Fujiko that Akuto lived when Aiko's assassin attacked them. Fujiko fought with her whip, but the guy enjoyed the blows. Outside, the ninjas tried to take the academy, but Lily defeated the first group. Upon everything calming down, she revealed Aiko assassinated her own father. This enraged Aiko, who ordered to finish Lily, but she used her elastic abilities to evade. She charged to the command center to fight Aiko, but the latter surrounded her soon. In the ruins, Fujiko fought the strange guy when he tried to go for Kina. Fujiko tried to save her, but another council member who used bats stepped ahead. On the surface, Lily prepared to fight alone, but her friends arrived to assist her. Despite thanking them, she remembered they must look after Kina, but Kina said the Batgirl was doing it. Hearing this, Lily decided to give her all and began to down ninjas. Her friends helped her, and upon approaching Aiko, the latter backed away with fear. In the ruins, Aiko's agent was attacked by bats, but Boichiro arrived and stole the attention. Fujiko said he would pay for her brother, but he ignored her and went to Kina saying he needed her. Kina distrusted, but something changed in her, and she acted strange. She told Boichiro that what was needed was not her, but someone else. Boichiro responded that although she was right, he needed Kina at that moment to take her. He left her unconscious, so Fujiko tried to prevent him from taking her away while they fought. Unfortunately, Unfortunately, Boichiro defeated Fujiko and left with Kina, so Fujiko escaped with her ally. Outside, Aiko called Junko and ordered her to fight Lily for her. Junko refused, saying Lily was not one of the monsters, but Aiko did not care. She threatened to harm Yuko if she did not obey, so Junko broke the phone and went to Lily. Seeing her, Lily asked her to withdraw, but Junko said she could not and ordered an attack, but two V's puppets fired at them before achieving it. Despite this, Junko tried to stop Lily, so Lily struck her and pushed her aside. She approached Aiko, who used Junko as a human shield to protect herself. In the ruins, Fujiko found a secret room and asked her ally to distract the enemy while she searched. Luckily, she returned soon and froze the guy with liquid nitrogen. They broke his torso, but for some reason his legs moved and fled. In that time, the hero saved Yuko and took her with him to join Boichiro. Seeing Kina with Boichiro, Lily thought her ally died, so she attacked Aiko, but the ninja used a switching technique to flee cowardly. 2V proposed to Lily to join him, but she said she would only work with a great Threadmaster. Upon charging power, 2V prepared his puppets, but Fujiko arrived and destroyed them all. This leveled the field, so Lily gave her best blow, only to see it was a puppet. The real 2V was elsewhere and mocked the girls, saying they would see each other later. Then, the Imperial ship began to move, and looking they saw Akuto was doing it. Later, after everything calmed down, Akuto thanked the principal for using magic to protect him when the ship crashed with Peterhausen. The old man said it was the dragon's work, and the latter complained that some functions turned off. Fujiko informed Boichiro had Kina, so he said he would go after them without taking anyone. Upon riding the dragon, Aiko returned and ordered Junko to finish Akuto. In response, Junko tried to attack her, but her clan asked not to do it because it would be treason. This made Junko hesitate, but since Aiko kept acting haughty, she decided she did not care anymore. With her hand on the sword, Sohaya, she announced she was betraying her clan for the man she loved. Then she surprised everyone unsheathing the sword, which was never used due to there not being someone worthy. Driven by love, she defeated Aiko's troops, but trying to finish her, Kuroni arrived and stopped her, saying Aiko must pay for her faults. Aiko tried to flee, but her father, now as a robot, blocked her path and she accepted her defeat. Then Akuto and Peterhausen flew far away and Junko remembered his promise. Shortly after, the dragon and its rider ran into the hero, who asked if Akuto was sure about destroying God. Akuto reaffirmed it, saying it was the only way to change the world, but the hero argued the world should not change. He said Akuto was selfish for not thinking about others when deciding. He began to charge power, and Akuto ordered the dragon to charge at maximum speed. The dragon obeyed and halfway launched Akuto against the hero. Akuto clung to the energy sphere the hero formed, making him panic, but Akuto did not let go, forcing the release of energy. The result was a blast, but fortunately nobody emerged injured, and upon falling the hero cried, so Akuto apologized and broke his helmet. Upon clashing, Yuko ran to see them and was surprised to see Hiroshi was the hero. The boy tried to apologize for hiding his identity, but Yuko embraced him, saying she did not care. Akuto tried to leave, but Hiroshi asked why he did not heal Yuko. Akuto explained that the god Suhara controlled the mana, and if he tried to remove it, something would go wrong. The only way to save her was to defeat Suhara, so he would do that. Meanwhile, Boichiro arrived at the place where supposedly God was. He removed all the personnel and reached the chamber for the contract with Kina, but some ladies tried to stop him. Without looking at them, he cut them, revealing they were not human, and assured he would fulfill his goal. Upon opening the room, he saw a vision of Kina, and she said his efforts were vain. She said other things that moved him, so he embraced her. But remembering the previous Kina choosing the Demon King over him, he closed his heart. At that moment, the real Kina woke up and tried to move away, but Boichiro asked her to stop struggling. Upon entering the chamber, Akuto arrived, so Boichiro launched attacks with his sword. Akuto dodged almost everything except what went to his leg, and upon falling, Boichiro split him in half. But he noticed he cut an illusion. The real Akuto was behind, and turning around, Boichiro received a heavy impact. Shocked, he asked how a trick fooled him, and Akuto said it was due to being foolish. He left him unconscious with a strong spell, but for some reason felt something was wrong. Kina ran to his side, and upon smiling, the robots said it was their destiny to contract and create a new world. Akuto said his mission there was to destroy God. Shocked, the robots revealed God created demon kings to destroy humanity for him, so it was bad to go against their creator. Akuto assured it was not bad to let people know their God was false. Upon being unable to convince him, the robots activated defenses and fled with the divine tree. Akuto called Peterhausen, and upon mounting Boichiro, woke up asking why he wanted to die with God. Akuto responded it was due to having own will and wanting to use it instead of the path for which he was created. While flying, Kina asked that he not do crazy things, but he did not hear, so she followed him. When Peterhausen reached the tree, it opened a hole and entered. The guardians fired, but the dragon endured and found the control. Akuto ordered to absorb God's functions, but the guardians tried to stop him. Not wanting to fail, Akuto protected Peterhausen, but there were too many enemies, so the dragon suggested turning off the mana limiters. It was risky, but it was the only option, so he did it and attacked. In the heat, he interfered with the dragon's work and ended up taking divine divine functions. Then the Guardians created a black hole to get rid of Akuto and his dragon. Peterhausen asked to release all energy to cancel the hole, but Akuto did not move, worrying it. Then Kina showed herself to the dragon, and the latter said that without releasing energy, everyone would die. Upon noticing it, she knew he would not survive, so she complained. Peterhausen assured it was fine and gave her a tooth as a gift. Then she embraced Akuto, who was shocked to see her, but she said she would not leave him alone. Suddenly, she floated in the void with her past self, and they spoke. Her past self said they would rewrite Akuto's history for a normal life, but it would not always be easy. Then the tree exploded, but upon the rescue arriving, they found Akuto and Kina unharmed. Junko was glad to see him, but he apologized for being a traitor. Junko said she was in the same position and revealed she left her family for him. Then Yuko and Hiroshi arrived, and the boy apologized for what occurred. Akuto wanted the blame, but Yuko interrupted him and clung to him. She asked that he not abandon Junko, making everyone look with confusion. Junko tried to remember that Akuto was the Demon King. Even so, Yuko said not to speak nonsense because the Demon King died in the blast. Hearing it, they noticed their memories were altered. Returning to the destroyed school, they learned that Fujiko, Lily, and Korone still remembered. Everyone else had altered memories too. It is questioned which of the young women Akuto should choose as his primary partner. Furthermore, after reaching this point, it is requested to comment Eternal Simp and then view the next video.